Check. This is Jeffrey Honnold doing a sample lesson for remilon. Why peer review? This is a piece I wrote for a University of South Florida reader for the first year writing program there. And it's all about peer review. Students struggle with peer review in the beginning. Isn't peer review just another drag, just another hoop to jump through? Students ask or think to themselves, why can't I just write on my own what I want when I want? These are all valid questions arising from affective or emotional areas. The writing process is personal and solitary, but only on one level. Let us explore writing on another level. The answers to the questions above, the questions that students ask, no, it's not busy work. Peer review is for your benefit, the benefit of the student, and we can write what we want, how we want, and when we want to a reasonable degree. We really can. We can also compose socially, engaging in a dynamic give-and-take process. We publicly write every day, whether you realize it or not. Rhetoric is all around you, and you engage in it every day, whether you realize it or not. Let's get something out of the way first. One of the methods I use with students is I'll grab, when I'm prepping them for a peer review, I'll grab a student that's sitting near me, and they have their papers out. We're preparing for peer review, and I'll take their paper, and let's say the student's name is Melissa. I say, Melissa, and I take the paper in hand. I raise the paper way up high above Melissa's head, and I say, this is Melissa's paper. This is Melissa. And I point to the student. And then I do it again. I repeat. I said, this is Melissa's paper, with the paper way up high. And I said, this is Melissa. And the reason I do that is because students have a hard time being honest or open or direct with their criticisms in peer review. And so that's why I do that. You are not your paper. I am not my paper. So let's look at some principles we can keep in mind for peer review. Yes, writing is personal. It's also public in the sense that none of us live in a vacuum. None of us live in an empty, totally empty vacuum. Who among us can truly claim to lead the life of a hermit, utterly untouched by society? Very few, or none of us. The point here is that there are plenty of perfectly reasonable ways, mature ways, for us to critique each other's work. Rule 1. Keep the golden rule in mind. Would you want cruel or meaningless comments on your work? The reasonable and mature answer is no, of course not. I want tactful, useful commentary. Rule number 2. Target and separate out what works and what does not work. In other words, read and analyze for aspects of writing that work to accomplish the writing task at hand, as well as identifying the aspects that definitely are not working. And this is important because one of the main things student writers lack is confidence. Every single one of you has something brilliant and unique to offer, and that's a fact. I already know it, but it's up to you to bring it out and realize it. And so you want to keep the writing task at hand, the primary purpose of the writing task at hand. You want to keep that right up front, but you also want to give quote-unquote good and bad commentaries. But you want to, rule number 3, be specific. Be specific. Right, great research question. That doesn't, period. That doesn't help me, does it? No. So elaborate, be specific, ask questions. Also offer up encouraging words for the parts of a composition that work especially well. We all need reminded of our rhetorical strengths, our writing assets, and we all have at least a few. Target and nurture aspects of writing that stand out in excellence, since we want and need the same. One last rule, create your own questions. An extremely powerful method for many writing tasks is to compose your own questions based on what you know In other words, formulate questions based on the writing task at hand, but also based on your own experience. You have years, 18 plus years of experience behind you, so tap into that. Formulate and target your questions for the work at hand, for your peers, because you want the same and you need the same. Thank you.